Wow, RealRawNews.com does it again. This is the second article by RealRawNews.com dated December 28th, 2021, entitled Dick Cheney Arrested. Disgraced former Vice President Dick Cheney was arrested Christmas Eve while trying to discreetly re-enter the United States to spend the holiday with his daughters, Liz and Marie, at the latter's home in Virginia, said a Judge Advocate General Corps representative speaking under terms of anonymity. As Real Raw News reported previously, the 9/11 Mastermind had on November 11th fled the U.S. for New Zealand after discovering, apparently, that he, like his former boss George W. Bush, was the target of a military arrest warrant. Bush was apprehended that night, but Cheney had a sophisticated escape and evasion plan that aided his getaway. JAG and OMC received actionable intelligence that Cheney was returning to the U.S. aboard an unscheduled and undeclared CIA Boeing 777-200 headed to Miami. When the intel came in, he'd already been in the air for some time, and the flight was scheduled to touch down sometime around 4 p.m. Christmas Eve. He was already halfway here, so we had only hours to get into motion, our source said. Without disclosing specific operational details, he said plainclothes U.S. Special Forces had staked out the airport in advance of Cheney's arrival. At 4:15, spotters with binoculars saw the unmistakable profile of the twin-engine, wide-body, on final approach. It landed on runway 9, but did not taxi to either of the airport's international terminals, as is customary for flights arriving from overseas. Instead, the plane taxied to and came to a stop outside a maintenance hangar north of the terminals. The engines spooled down and a pushback tug towed mobile ramp stairs alongside the jumbo jet. When the door opened, only one person deplaned. It was Richard Bruce Cheney. Cheney immediately entered a black limousine with diplomatic license plates that had pulled up near the ramp stairs only seconds after he had left the plane. Special Forces had two choices: take him there or tail the vehicle. They didn't want to create a scene and chose to follow the limo, our source said. In civilian vehicles, the Special Forces team shadowed the limo several miles from the airport to an underground parking garage at the Hilton Miami Airport, Blue Lagoon Hotel, ostensibly where Cheney planned to stay the night or switch vehicles to avoid potential pursuers. Special Forces blocked the limo, trapping it motionless between their innocuous-looking Range Rovers, and then surrounded it with weapons drawn, ordering the occupants to at once exit the vehicle. The driver complied and handed over his credentials. He identified himself as Yusuf Hamza, a Pakistani national and CIA asset, claiming he was on a diplomatic assignment, transporting a VIP from Miami International to Miami Regional Airport. He said that he, his vehicle, and any passengers had full diplomatic immunity against searches, seizures, and arrests. Immunity is revoked, the Special Forces commander purportedly told him. When Cheney refused to exit the vehicle, Special Forces lowered the plexiglass partition, separating the driver and passenger compartments, and held a pistol directly to his head. Cheney eventually got out, but not before giving the usual deep state spiel. Do you know who I am? I own you. Your lives are over. That sort of hype. Then he said he was just trying to get to Virginia to see his family for Christmas. Probably not the Christmas he wanted. One thing's for sure, he'll be spending New Year's at Guantanamo Bay, our source said. Both Cheney and Hamza have been taken to a detention center for processing, our source said. In closing, That closes our second article from realrawnews.com regarding Dick Cheney's arrest for treason. And his hotel was at the GITMO hotel for only a few days before he also was hung. We'll get to that. We'll get to that article here in just in our next video here on YouTube. And again, it is the right of the people to know true history that's taking place behind the scenes. So this is one of the websites that I strongly encourage you to read. There is some form of justice taking place in this world against the wicked and those who think that they can control massive populations, not just control them, but even kill them. So as ambassador of the Most High, Abba Yahweh, Ambassador Benaiah, will continue to bring these videos to you. Get the news out, get the real news, and not some CIA-sponsored filth and misinformation and disinformation, propaganda and mind control spin that they're so used to doing, all funded by Big Pharma and all these deadly medicines and snake oil salesman potions that they have for everybody. So again, thank you for being with us. We'll cut the next video here in just a minute in regards to Dick Cheney and his